in my previous trainings, I used to just talk about Google Ads, but I found another hugely important component for my clients that succeed versus the ones that don't succeed are the ones that succeed are all very sales focused. And this is a great quote. You probably heard it before. Nothing happens until a sale is made. And really, for you new business owners that are trying to scale your business, you need to focus on two things: getting leads, converting leads into sales. Getting leads, converting leads into sales. What I find that happens a lot of times is you guys get wrapped up in the day-to-day, right? Maybe you're still driving, which you need to get out of that driver's seat as soon as possible if you really want to scale your business. What I found is what happens with a lot of these smaller limo companies is they get an affiliate that starts farming them out a ton of work, and they get comfortable because they've got the work coming in. They don't need to invest in their own marketing. They don't need to learn sales. They don't even really need to have any sort of a mindset. But I want to make something clear. That is the mindset of an employee, not a business owner. And so if you want to just focus on getting affiliate work, that's not even really owning your own business, because you are relying on someone else's marketing to keep you busy. And as we all know, if the economy tanks, the first people to feel the squeeze are going to be those companies that rely on a lot of affiliate work. And so I started working with a company recently who's doing several million a year. 90% of that is affiliate work. And, I asked them, I'm like, hey, so like, congratulations on finally deciding to do your own marketing. But as soon as you guys can afford it, because I understand affiliate work, when you have bills, you have insurance, you have maybe payments on your vehicles, there's maintenance, you guys have a lot of overhead. So I get it. Filling in the gaps with affiliate work makes a lot of sense, especially in the beginning. But as soon as you can afford to start growing your own business, learning how to sell, learning how to acquire leads, acquiring leads and making sales. Those are the two most important things for a business owner. I think part of the issue with this whole deal, with why this industry doesn't have a sales culture, is because when they hear sales, they think it conjures up this image. And I'm sure you guys hate getting cold called, right? And I'm sure you guys probably get a ton of marketers, SEO agencies, pay-per-click guys calling you daily, weekly, and it annoys the crap out of you. And you don't want to be that person. And you kind of have to change your mindset, because this guy right here, this guy is not, he's not a good salesman. A good salesman is really, you got to get selling out of your mind. You're not trying to sell anyone on anything. And I'm the same way. I don't want to sell to someone that I don't think is going to have success, because all I want is a roster of highly successful businesses I've worked with. And so really selling is just about building that relationship and educating the buyer. And what I mean by that is someone, when they submit an inquiry, let's say online, or they call you up, and you're like, well, what kind of vehicle do you want? Well, really, it should be more like, okay, tell me your situation. How many passengers? And don't get me wrong, for some of you, this might be Limo 101, but figuring out, how many passengers they have, where they're going to, where they're going from, what the occasion is. Are they flying in from another city? Do they need help from transportation at their city of departure? Do they need a round trip back? Really asking all of the right questions. And that's really what sales is. It's just educating. You're not trying to make the sale. And honestly, you really just want to get it out of your mind that you're even trying to sell them. All you're trying to do is be helpful, build that relationship, and educate them. And if you can do that, I guarantee you, you will close a lot more deals. And so I kind of break sales down for retail limo companies and companies that focus on corporate clients kind of separately. And so right now, what I'm referring to is inbound marketing. So if you're doing SEO, if you're doing pay-per-click, if you're doing Facebook ads, whatever you're doing, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get leads, you're trying to get phone calls, you're trying to get new opportunities in your inbox, you're trying to get phone calls. And if you want to have the most success, if you want to close the most of these deals, there's a few things I've found after tracking all of my most successful clients and interviewing them on what their system is. Here's what I found. Responding in under 5 minutes makes a huge difference. I know for some of you that still drive, that can be really tough. And so really having someone that can serve as sort of a backup um, might be something you need to look into, because a quick response time is so important. About a year ago, I went and I created a fake email address and a fake phone number, and I went to all of my clients' sites and I filled out their forms because I wanted to see what the average response time would be. I wanted to see how they would be communicating, via email, text, or phone call. And what I found was very enlightening. So the average response time from when I submitted the quote request to when I got a quote was 45 minutes. Only 20% of the companies actually called. Only like 5% texted. And so I'm not going to say there's one best way to follow up, but I have clients that have a lot of success with calling right away, then texting, and that's generally what I recommend doing. I have other clients that text and email, but you don't want to just do email, because I found the response rates for email are just not great. And so you really want to um, be testing and iterating, figuring out what works, keeping on trying something new. And that's what kind of goes back to mindset. You can't get discouraged because you just haven't found out what works, but you will find it out, because the great thing about this industry is most companies take forever to follow up. So if your company is the one business that's following up in under 5 minutes, and you're keeping track of what you quoted them, right? So I know a lot of you smaller operators, you don't use a CRM like HubSpot or Salesforce or anything like that, which is fine. You don't need that. Actually, on the next slide, I'm going to tell you about someone who actually prints everything out. But you want to keep track of, the people you're quoting, either in an Excel sheet, or I actually use a Google sheet for the customers I work with. If they're price checking, that's fine. Look, that's what most people are going to do. Okay, so you have to get over the price checking, and you really, really want to get away from thinking that everyone's cheap. You should never say everyone's cheap. And you should never be upset if someone's just quote unquote checking prices, because the truth is what you guys offer, as with many service-based industries, can be quoted right over the phone. So whenever you're in an industry that you can, your clients can get a quote over the phone, you're going to be price checked. So just, just assume that's going to be a reality. But here's the thing: if they're just price checking and you never follow up again, then you failed, because most limo companies are not following up. Someone calls, they get a price. Oh, thank you. I'm just calling around for prices. Most companies will never reach back out to that person. Most companies won't even write their number down and write down what they quoted them. And so that's just completely unacceptable. When you're paying for advertising online, or paying for SEO, or paying for Facebook ads, or whatever sort of medium you're using, whatever sort of platform you're using, you need to keep track of how much you're quoting people. Did they book, or were they price checking? Because if they were price checking, you want to be following up with them.